The Shadow of Fu Manchu. Based on the stories by Sax Rohmer. While trailing Follow Sui, Shan Greville has been trapped by agents of Dr. Fu Manchu. Under the influence of a powerful drug, Greville has kidnapped Rima Barton and taken her to the Manchu's headquarters. With no recollection of his action, he returns to Shepard's Hotel, where he learns of Rima's disappearance. Nayland Smith attempts to arouse his memory, but fails to do so. Called to police headquarters to question a prisoner, a slave coast dwarf and presumably a servant of Dr. Fu Manchu, Smith arrives only to find the prisoner in a state of complete suspended animation.
It's typical of Fu Manchu's methods. He invariably makes it impossible for his servants to be questioned if captured. Did this fellow drink anything after he was brought in?
Why, yes, a glass of water.
He asked for it the moment he was brought in, eh?
Yes, but you don't think...
That water contained a powerful drug. You see the result? Well, he's no good to us now. Lock him up and forget him.
Well, the hospital's the place for him where he can be kept under observation.
Do as you like. But don't be surprised if he's gone some fine morning. I've known Fu Manchu to spirit his agents out of well-guarded, stout British prisons under the very noses of his jailers.
Hello, Weymouth speaking.
Weymouth. Nayland Smith is there. Let me speak to him, please. This is Dr. Petrie.
He's here, Petrie. Hold on a moment.
Oh, yes, Petrie?
Can you come back to the hotel immediately, Nayland?
Why, of course. What's up?
The opposition has made its first move. You understand, of course.
Perfectly. Don't let them leave until I've seen them. Oh, have Barton or Greville spoken with them?
Greville's still sleeping, but I've said nothing to Barton about it.
Good. I'm on my way. Carry on here, Weymouth. Let me know of any new developments in the condition of our unconscious prisoner, will you?
Of course.
Greville, old man, wake up.
What? What's the row? What time is it?
Never mind the time. Wake up. There's good news.
News? Rima?
He will be crowned in Damascus.
He will be crowned? I've got it. It was an old beggar in the Sharia Gamil who said it.
Yes?
I was coming to the hotel from somewhere in the native city.
Go on.
A ragged old man came out of the dark between two shops, whining for bakshish. I gave him a few coins, and he whispered he will be crowned in Damascus.
Yes. Anything else? Any other memory?
No, that's all. But you said you had news. What is it?
Rima is being held for ransom, Greville.
Dr. Fu Manchu has her?
We think so. He's ready to negotiate. Oh, and by the way, I burned your letter.
Thanks. Who brought the news?
The messenger's in Barton's sitting room. How do you feel?
Like a new man, thanks to you, Petrie.
You may recall, Petrie, old chap, that no less an authority than Dr. Fu Manchu always regarded your talents as wasted. But come on to Barton's room.
Now, for the living gods, we'll see about
Lionel, you leave this to me. If you interfere in any way, I won't be responsible for the consequences.
All right. Get on with your pig-sticking, then.
This gentleman is Mr. Arden, Greville. As the business which brings him here interests you personally, I thought you should be present.
A pleasure, gentlemen.
Mr. Arden is an attorney practicing in Cairo. Oh, by the way, I believe I met your brother some years ago.
That is not possible, Mr. Smith.
Oh, no? Not a Mr. Samarkand? One-time manager of the Hotel du Nil here in Cairo, and later manager of the new Louvre in London? Surely I can't be mistaken.
You are mistaken. Perhaps not in the resemblance, but certainly in the relationship. I have never heard of Mr. Samarkand.
Oh, let it pass, then. Briefly, Greville, this is the situation. Mr. Arden, in the ordinary way of his professional duties...
Nonsense. He's one of the gang and a blasted liar to boot.
A liar, no. I've asked you to leave this to me. Will you stop interrupting?
Carry on.
As I was saying, Greville, Mr. Arden has been instructed to approach Barton professionally.
The situation, gentlemen, is a bit difficult. I act for powerful interests in Egypt. What else could I do? One cannot afford to offend, you know.
I'd say you're certainly not the man to offend Fu Manchu.
Fu Manchu? The name is unfamiliar to me. Chinese, no doubt?
His nationality is beside the point. The name of your client is unnecessary to discuss at the moment. Now, your instructions, I understand, are these. A body of religious fanatics has abducted Miss Rima Barton. Your client has learned that she will be returned unharmed if the demands of this religious group are complied with. Is that right?
Perfectly put, Mr. Smith. I see also that you understand my position.
I do, perfectly.
It's too bad you don't understand it.
I call it the rottenest piece of blackmail I've ever heard of. If you're what you claim to be, Arden, you ought to be disbarred.
Oh, really, Greville, you're unduly severe on Mr. Arden. Doubtless he's undertaken infinitely more delicate cases.
Indeed. Mr. Greville, I am acting for those who would help you.
Yes, his clients, you see, Greville, know all that goes on in the Near East. Of course, they deeply deplore the outrage which has been committed. I understood you to say that, Mr. Arden?
Oh, but indeed, Mr. Smith.
And they suggest a means by which Miss Barton's release may be secured. In fact, I believe the exact terms are mentioned.
They are. This religious group claims that Sir Lionel Barton has stolen property which belongs to them.
Stolen property?
They state further that if this property is returned, the missing young lady will also be returned.
Quite reasonable. You have details of the stolen property?
Here, in my briefcase. You wish to glance at this paper, or shall I read?
Go ahead.
A sword of Damascus steel inlaid with gold, a curved double-edged blade, the hilt encrusted with jewels.
Yes, go on.
A mask of thin gold, finely engraved, and 15 thin gold plates bearing the text of the new Quran of El-Mokana.
Suppose I did have these things. How would that affect my niece?
Barton, either be quiet and let me handle this, or I wash my hands of the whole blasted affair. Well, what's it to be?
Have it your own way.
Very well. To continue, then, we'll assume the relics of El-Mokana to be in Sir Lionel Barton's possession. What next?
I am authorized to say that those who have Miss Barton in their keeping will give her up in exchange for these articles.
Under what conditions?
You will bring them to an appointed place, and there you will find Miss Barton.
That sounds like a trap.
I shall be glad to communicate any other suggestion you may care to offer. First, however, my instructions on this point are quite explicit. I must see these items and notify my clients that all is correct.
No, I don't agree.
Sir Lionel, dig them out. The suitcase is under the settee right by your feet. Pull it out, unlock it, and comply with Mr. Arden's request.
My word that the relics are there.
Barton, neither Greville nor I can understand your hesitation. Nothing else counts while Rima's in the hands of Mr. Arden's client.
Oh, all right. There you are. Compare the things with your list.
There's the sword, the 15 gold plates, and the golden mask. Thank you, Sir Lionel. I shall inform them at once.
By the God, Shan, I refuse to be ordered about by Smith or anyone else. I've had enough of it.
Now, calm down, Sir Lionel. Smith's right. You've made a pest of yourself and gotten us into no end of trouble over these blasted relics, and wound up by getting Rima kidnapped.
scared if anything could be worse.
That's enough, Shan. You can't talk to me like that. You're not my nephew-in-law yet. I won't stand for it.
Then sit down. Cool off and stop prowling up and down like a caged tiger. Let's talk sense.
Huh.
This man Arden...
That fellow's no more attorney than I am.
Wrong again, Barton.
I'm apparently always wrong.
Not always, old man, but in this instance you are. The man is an attorney, and I'm positive that his main source of income is derived from handling the affairs of the Sifan.
And he's one of their spies. And an agent of Fu Manchu. Knowing that, why did you let him go?
I'd have tossed him out of the window.
Which would very likely have resulted in the permanent disappearance of Rima. We have no clue to Rima's whereabouts. Arden, whom you wanted to throw out the window, is a link which you would have broken.
He ought to have had his head broken.
Oh, here's Petrie. Oh, come in, old man. Sit down.
Well, have you finally settled the details, Nayland?
Practically. I've arranged with Arden that the exchange be made tonight, at midnight, in the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid.
Great Pyramid at Giza? Great Scott!
That's what I say. Stark raving madness.
Oh, just a minute, sir. These are the terms I intend suggesting when Arden phones regarding his client's acceptance or refusal of the meeting place.
Oh, I say. Then the meeting place for the exchange hasn't been definitely set.
Well, not yet, but that'll be Arden. Hello. Nayland Smith speaking.
Greetings, Mr. Smith.
Great Scott. It's Fu Manchu.
Then he is in Cairo.
Quiet. Greetings, Dr. Fu Manchu.
The meeting place you have stipulated is satisfactory, Mr. Smith. It remains for us now to settle upon the terms of the agreement. You have a suggestion?
Why, yes. First, two of us shall present ourselves with the articles in question.
Quite agreeable. Next.
No more than two of your agents shall accompany Miss Barton.
Very well.
After the exchange, there will be a 10-minute truce.
At the expiration of that period, each party may act as it sees fit, I presume?
Exactly.
I accept your terms, Mr. Smith. The time set for the exchange, then, will be tonight, at midnight, in the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid. Am I right?
That's correct.
I make one stipulation, Mr. Smith. The parties who will deliver the articles to my agents will be yourself and Dr. Petrie.
Very well.
By the way, you may inform Sir Lionel Barton for me that Miss Barton has suffered no harm. If the articles in question are not delivered to my agents tonight, however, I cannot vouch for Miss Barton's future welfare.
You mean exactly what, Dr. Fu Manchu? I ask because Sir Lionel is with me at this moment, listening to this conversation.
I mean, Mr. Smith, that if the articles we speak of are not in the possession of my duly appointed agent 5 minutes after midnight tonight, Miss Barton will be returned to you tomorrow with her mind permanently destroyed.
The Shadow of Fu Manchu.